What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, this is the road to 2K subs. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the comments. There's been a bunch of comments throughout the past couple of days, and I knew I needed to make something today, but I was like, I don't know where to go. You know, you could talk about the playoffs. You can react to the preseason, or you could do whatever the heck. And I didn't know where to go, honestly. So, but I came up with kind of like a rough idea of where I was going to go. So just bear with me. First things first, we're going to talk about are the playoffs, because first things first. Hold on. The agenda. Hold on, I got folks. I got neighbors, y'all. But the agenda is strong. They said no, Rashad. No. Connecticut can't lose before the finals. They said no, Rashad. Asia can't come back from 2-1. The agenda is strong. Asia's getting her first, or Candace is getting her second. The agenda remains strong. Salute to Candace Parker on getting back to the WNBA Finals a couple years after some few frustrating seasons and postseasons there in LA, sitting on a bench, cussing out Derek Fisher on national television. Oh, how far they've come. She gets the homecoming. She gets a chance to rap her doing the bop. He's performing, no problem on the sideline. Chance is coming back. He's going to bounce back from the big day. He's going to bounce back. Don't worry about it. He's going to bounce back. The whole city comes out. Scottie Pippen comes out. Definitely shout out. Salute to Chicago for getting it done, for getting to the finals. Job not done. The job is not done yet. But as a 6th seed that finished the regular season 500, I caught some heat even when I said these 5 teams are the top contenders for a WNBA championship. And when I said Chicago, people were like, I believe it was my boy Gerald. Gerald, I'm holding you accountable. Gerald was like, dude, don't sleep on my Minnesota Lynx. People told me not to sleep on this team. People told me not to sleep on this team. And I stuck to my guns. That's a lesson for y'all out there. Believe your takes. Stand on your takes. And also make sure people understand what you said. Because people be like, no, you ain't said this, you ain't said this, you ain't said this. Just make sure that you deliver your takes in a clear way. So that when people try to, you ain't say that? Oh, okay, let me tell you, okay, blah, 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 blah. But it saves a lot of time if you're just clear from the first get-go. Anyways, salute to Renee Montgomery. Salute to Renee Montgomery. I don't know if I was about to say my name. Salute to Renee Montgomery. Salute to, who else I wanted to salute? Monica McNutt. Friend of the channel, Monica McNutt, coming on the channel at the top of the game, peak of her game, the hottest thing in sports journalism right now. She came down to us to give us 30 minutes. We appreciate it so much, Monica. But Monica, she answered WNBA Twitter's prayers, and she asked Renee Montgomery on the spot, as she's one of the co-hosts in the studio show for ESPN with the WNBA playoffs and stuff like that, about what did she ask her about? She asked her about the entire fight situation, the fight video, and reportedly not bringing them back via Girls Talk Sports. And shout out to Howie as well, but shout out to Courtney Williams once again. Renee took it like a champ. She answered the question. She said, the thing is, the way you interpret it is the way you interpret it. My interpretation of it was like the answer she gave of saying they saw a 10 to 15 second clip of it in May. And since, Courtney pretty much, persuaded them that it was self-defense, they decided not to go with any punishment or anything like that. The thing is, though, at the, no punishment. The thing is, though, it's like they saw the clip now. And I'm like, so you mean just a clip that they had all along and stuff like that? And they said the videos, I don't know, man. It was just, I get the PR answer, but don't cap. Like, that's probably what the organization kind of came to an agreement on the statement to say that. But just don't cap, bro. Like, don't cap. Like, if the reason you did it because it was a bad PR look for the organization, which is the reason why I feel like you at least did it with Courtney. Like with Crystal, she was just kind of like a victim of just wrong place, wrong time. She's just trying to be a good friend, defending her teammate and stuff like that. And but if you're saying it just because you're embarrassed and TMZ and all these other websites and places that you also work for picked it up and broadcasted and blasted it all over, just say that, man. Don't cap about it. But I mean, they gotta answer politically correct and stuff like that. And I don't mean people as in just Renee. Let me clarify that. I mean the organization, like organizations, companies, they have to give these broad statements and say these things. And regardless if they think people are going to believe they're lying or not, they got to put them out just because it's for the sake of the protection of the company and money. Yeah, I mean, how can you blame them on that? But yeah, so that's what I want to say about that. Moving on now to the next thing. Here we go. So the reason why I'm wearing my Valdosta hoodie on this video is because I got a comment from Ash V. Sports. And here it is right here. From Ash V. Sports the other day. And it's a question I get, kind of quite often. So she said, hey, my fellow Atlanta sports fan. First things first, I grew up in Atlanta, everything like that. I had to let go of the fan tag a long time ago, a couple years ago, and I would explain this soon. How do you get to ask questions at the end of Hawks games? Check out my YouTube also. So when I saw this comment again, pulling it up because I know I wanted to address it on the video, I went to your page and I just subscribed to you, Ash. So best of luck to you there and stuff like that. The question, how did I get here? So how did I get to ask questions at the end of Hawks games and stuff? It's kind of a long story in a way. But anyways, here's kind of like the best way I could summarize it. I started writing when I was like 13. It was for like NBA.com. I did like NBA mock drafts and stuff like that. I was on this online forum called NBA Fan Voice. It was on NBA.com, and I was on there a couple of years. So I did the 07 mock draft and the 08 mock draft, and I took Al Horford and AC Law for the Hawks in 2007. And then in 2008, I took Maurice Bates with the 15th pick to like Phoenix. And I think all of those picks happened. I think. I can't remember about most Bates, but yeah, the other picks, like, they happened exactly like that. So that's when I was like, 13 and whatever. I was really young and stuff. I've always had a passion for this. I wanted to be like an ESPN analyst when I was 10. A lot of this stuff I'm probably going to be talking about. I'm going on Nate's podcast tonight, by the way. Big Nate. Shout out to Nathan Snell. Y'all go look that up and check him out. I'll be on live tonight. Y'all wish the best for my Wi-Fi because, the reason why I never go live on this channel is because of my Wi-Fi. But I'll probably talk about this more in depth over there. But, yeah, so I always had a passion for it. When I was 10, I knew I wanted to be on ESPN. I stopped playing basketball, and I was like, I'd rather talk about the game and then play it. And, my dad was like, they get paid on ESPN. I was like, they get paid that much money? Anyway, so that's when I made the decision. I was 10. And so I always wanted to do this. I went to college. First college I went to was Valdosta State. At Valdosta State, I was pretty much kind of chilling, just taking classes and stuff. And then they had this campus writing contest, sports writing contest, where like the winner could go to L.A., like if they like won the national contest and stuff like that. So, I did the writing contest. I was a freshman, and I ended up coming second. I came up second in the whole school to like the senior, who was the senior sports editor of the newspaper. And it was crazy because, I'm like 18, you know what I'm saying? So like the dude who judged it was like, yo, like, who are you? Like, this is really good and stuff like that. And we really, like, you want to join the paper? And I was like, oh, wow. I never thought of writing. Okay. And I hated writing papers. I hated writing essays and stuff like that in high school growing up. So just the irony of that, right? But, I joined the paper, and softball became my beat. And the softball team at Valdosta State that year, they went to the D2 National Championship Series. They ended up losing, but they advanced to the National Championship Series. So that was pretty cool for my first beat. And then what did I do after that? So that was that. Oh, and then so that summer, like, I made the decision to transfer back home to Georgia State. The reason why I went to Valdosta was because I originally was going to go to Morehouse. I really wanted to go to Morehouse really bad out of high school. I got in. I even like auditioned for some grants and stuff, and I got some grants, but it wasn't enough. Morehouse is $40,000. Howard is like $50,000, $60,000. Like those, a lot of those like big name HBCUs, especially if they're private, it costs a lot of money. Spelman's like 50,000. So, yeah, I just couldn't come up with the money, and we went on a college road trip or something like that my senior year of high school, and Valdosta State was one of the stops, and it was $7,000. I was like, oh, 7,000. Like that's a lot of money, but it's not 40,000. I think I can come up with that. So that's why I went to Valdosta State. And it was also 4 hours away from home, my hometown and stuff like that. And yeah. So I just wanted to kind of get away for a year, go to a cheaper place, and then transfer. I was going to go to UGA, or I was going to go to like Kennesaw State or Georgia State or something like that. And I decided Georgia State because it was, I don't know, I just had this vision. I believe God just probably gave it to me, but I wanted to be in a city to connect and network. At Valdosta State, it was like, if you work really hard for 4 years, we can drive you 2 hours down to Jacksonville, and you can run the courts for a Jacksonville Jaguars Monday Night Football game. I'm like, that's just ceiling here. So it's like, it was just the opportunity, and like, it was this dude I met, and he was like the best rapper ever, right? Like he wrote and stuff like that. And, he could just rap like out the wazoo. And he bragged, like we recorded this rap or whatever for a school project. And he was like, that was my first time recording. He was like, yeah, been writing since I was 13, never recorded. And he was bragging about it. It's like, dude, no one's going to discover you. Like, you're the best rapper I've ever heard in my life, and no one's going to know who you are. Because like, you just don't put yourself out there. And it's like, it was kind of like that small town type of mentality of just like, all right, bro, like, how is it even possible to get on out here? So and I reached out to all the alumni. Like they had like famous alums, like Nancy Grace went there. Who else went there? It was somebody else who went there that was popping. And nobody else was like, what I'm saying, fooling with me, messing with me, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, I decided to go to Georgia State because it's in the heart of downtown Atlanta. And like everything was in walking distance over there. So that's why I went, to really just connect with the city and network. And that's what I did. I met a lot of, people at Georgia State and stuff like that. And really, Jared Oliver was the guy who like really just helped change my life over there at Georgia State and helped change the trajectory of my career at Georgia State. We had a class together, at least like an 8:30 a.m. class. I used to commute because like Georgia State didn't have any more dorms left. So I was staying at my mom's house again after like moving out for a year. And, when you're a college freshman and you're away from home, you're like, I'm grown. You get back home and like I have to live with my mom again. Like, what the heck? I'm not a kid. Like, that's what I'm thinking after 1 year. So it was a really bad semester for me. But Jared was like the bright spot. I always talked to him before class and stuff like that. And it really started, he was wearing a Giants hat, and I just started talking to him about about baseball. It was a San Francisco Giants hat. And then, one day he was like bobbing his head. And I was like, what you listening to? He's like, this is that new Childish Gambino. You don't know nothing about it. If you know anything about me, Donald Glover, Childish Gambino is like my favorite person in the world. Anyways, so like I just started talking his head off about that. And then, we became close. So one time I was leaving campus, and he was coming into campus, and he had like some glasses on and like nice shirt and tie. And I'm like, yo, where you going? I'm like, you going to the sports gym or whatever? The basketball team over there, men's basketball team, had a little midnight madness thing. Excuse me, I'm stuttering because I'm like trying to remember what the heck. This is like 7 years ago. He's like, yeah, I'm going to cover it for this TV show, this new TV show. It's like, new TV show? I want to be a part of it. So, I just followed him. And he was like, I don't know if there's going to be any spots available for you. So I met the guy who started it up. That was Jamal Goss. Shout out to Jamal Goss. I called him like a couple months ago and just thanked him for what he's done for my life and stuff. And Jamal Goss, he put me on the show, Primetime Sports. It was his new show at Georgia State. And that's what I did when I was a sophomore. And then, but Jared was also working at the newspaper while he was working at the TV station. So that summer, the sports editor graduated, and he was like, yo, you should be the sports editor because you have newspaper experience and Georgia State sports from being on the TV show. I was like, okay, I'll do it. You get a little stipend. I think it was like $200 a month. in college, 200 a month, you're set, you're rich. So, so I took it, interviewed for it and stuff, got the job. And so I was the sports editor at the student newspaper. And through the paper that year, that was when R.J. Hunter hit the shot in the NCAA tournament. And the coach was his dad, and Ron Hunter, and he fell off the scooter, and he fell off the stool. And it went viral, and it was like the biggest talked about moment in March Madness. That was hands down the biggest thing that has happened to me, or happened to Georgia State sports, like while I was there, was that viral moment and stuff. So with that, RJ was already projected to go in the first round. He goes in the first round to the Boston Celtics. His first time back in Atlanta, I was like, let me try this out. So I reached out to the Hawks. Hey, can we get credentials to go to this Boston Celtics team to do a story on RJ Hunter? We got in. So we got in, and I was like, this is so awesome. There's food, and I'm walking around the court, and it was just the greatest thing ever. You have to imagine, I'm a college kid at this point, so, and I grew up going to Hawks games, so it was like to be on the media side and to have a pass and walk on the court was just unheard of for me. It was so cool. It was like a dream come true. And I'm like probably 20 at this point. So anyways, over there, they were like, hey, well, hope you guys, I was like, thank you guys when I'm leaving. And they were like, yeah, anytime you guys want to come back, just email us. I was like, is that easy? So anyways, fast forward. And then Kobe announces his retirement that December. And so I put in for credentials and stuff like that, like just for the heck of it. And I got in. They gave us credentials, me and my homie Joey Redmond over there and stuff, who was at GSTV. So I got in with the student newspaper, and he got in with the TV station. So we covered the Kobe thing. Long story short, kind of fast forward, kind of just being around the Hawks games and stuff allowed me to get opportunities with other places because I had work out there. And so they knew my work, and then they knew who I was as a person just because they saw me around, at least even from afar at the Hawks games and stuff like that. So it was kind of just like being at the right place at the right time. The reason why I came up to Atlanta, to be visible and stuff, show my face around. So the way that the advice that I would give to anybody who, might not be in school and wants to find a way to do it on the independent route, on the independent grind, keep putting out a bunch of content yourself. Create a website, create a Twitter page for your website, and everything like that. Create, Instagram, Facebook, whatever the heck, all social media platforms, a TikTok for your company so it can look a little legit. Make a custom email for it. So it's like your name at, your company's name. You can even register an LLC, Google how to register for an LLC. Become legit, just look legit first of all. And then you can start off by covering local events. So, you just look at articles and stuff like that. And you can cover a local soccer game, high school soccer, high school sports in general, just reaching out to athletic directors at high schools. And then, you can start off doing that. Once you do that on a consistent basis and you have kind of some type of work of, hey, I have this original, stories that I've been covering. Let me try to move up, just try to slowly climb up that ladder. And I also show that, you have an entire channel, as you do, which I'm looking at right now, of nothing but Hawks content. So, you have that. You built a following on social media. You have a legitimate website where you cover these things and you cover the Hawks. And you have experience covering high school basketball in the metro Atlanta area. And you present all of that pretty much like a EPK. Like there's like a EPK thing in like the industry. And it's like electronic media kit. So that would be what? EMK. Like a EMK, whatever the heck the term is. But, once you build some type of portfolio to present to people, you can present that to people to get jobs. You can present that to people just to let them get you a chance to interview the players. So that's the way to do it. Just pretty much just showing that you're established and that you have a following, and also that you know how to behave yourself. Because a lot of the things that they're kind of hesitant on giving independent companies and stuff like that access is because, like, sometimes folks will come in there not knowing media etiquette, and they'll come in there acting like a fan and just, oh, Trey, good game, that's it. And, like, PR doesn't like that at all because it's not professional or it's not traditional and stuff like that. It just makes them uncomfortable. And it makes them feel like they made a mistake granting you access and credentialing you for an event. So that's my advice for doing the whole independent thing. That's a little bit of my story of how I got to where I am today. Just pretty much I moved to Atlanta, went in school, and just joined everything I could with like different media groups and stuff. So join a media group. I know Just Good Network from Jansen Harris. He has something over there in Atlanta where he's like just bringing on a bunch of journalists. So maybe you could go with him and he can start reaching out to companies to get credentialed for events and stuff like that. And maybe he starts getting credentials. So I don't know. It's a lot of ways. My long story, my way, there's no path today with the internet. Like there's no direct path, but my word of advice would just to join and be as visible as you can in many places as you can be, and work hard, be consistent. So have a lot of content out and develop some type of because if you work hard and you're consistent, you're gonna develop the following just from like posting every day, from posting once a week. You're gonna develop some type of following from that eventually. So that's my piece of advice to you. Godspeed on your journey, Ash. Like I said, I just subscribed, so I'll be checking you out and stuff like that. And if any of you want to subscribe to Ash, make sure you subscribe to Ash. But that's all I have. Make sure you check out the Nate podcast tonight if you feel like it. If you don't, it won't hurt my feelings. And yeah, have a good day.